Hello and welcome to Motors for the Masses. And today we have an important conversation to have, and that is driver aids. Are they something that actually aids driving, or are they just a nuisance? Well, let's roll the intro and find out, and we'll get cracking.
Crack.
As you know, we are entering 2025, and I've seen a massive influx of obviously electric SUVs. Now, we all know they're coming. None of us want them. Some people do, but drivers and people that love cars and are passionate about cars don't want them. Now,
well, some people that are passionate about cars can like them.
they can, but not as their main form of transport.
No.
I mean, I choose to drive a V8 Mustang. As a backup, and almost finished, is another V8 Mustang.
That's a weekend fun spin.
It is a weekend fun spin. I've also got a Mark 1 Escort in the works, and my wife's main car, which is my car, but she drives it, is a 5-door Mini John Cooper Works. Now, I love cars. I love how they feel. I love driving them. I love the sound of them. I just love driving.
What if it's a Tesla electric? Do you love the sound then?
No. According to this, there is no auto shut-off, which is basically the one that when you stop at a junction, it shuts the engine off.
Which wastes fuel.
It does waste fuel because it obviously has to restart the car again afterwards. Now, I can't stand that. I hate it. It annoys me. Now, I know they start when you pull away, but it's not instant. It's just vroom, and then you pull away. Now, I've always thought it's never good to start a car and then pull away instantly. So sitting idle is better for the car, as far as I'm concerned. My wife's Mini has that. Bearing in mind it's a 2017 car and this Mustang's a 2016 Mustang. This doesn't have it, her car does have it. And I find that unbelievably annoying, to the state where my little helper here knows his routine. And when he gets in the car, what's the first thing you do?
Turn it into sport and put the other flick on that. Turns off the auto shut.
Exactly. Turns off the auto and puts it in sport mode.
And put the camera in.
And put the camera in, yes, the dash cam. You don't put it in sport mode with mum though, do you?
No, I do.
Oh, you do now? Oh, okay, all right. But yeah, so driver aids. Now we've got the auto lane change thing. We've got the little thing, the blind spot thing that tells us in the mirror that something's coming. We've got the adaptive cruise control, or as Volvo call it now, the pilot assist.
Yeah.
Which basically you can drive yourself, but it'll tell you if there's anything in front of you, beside you, next to you, up behind you, coming up soon.
I thought that was driver assist.
Driver assist, it does have that as well, but I find that unbelievably frustrating. And to me, that is not driving. This is driving, where you can do it yourself, drive how you want.
Going 70, of course.
Obviously, and then decide what gear you want to be in, where you want to overtake, how fast you want to go, obviously up to the speed limit only and nothing else.
Yes.
And then, you can drive yourself. All these little things are what you needed to pass your driving test.
Yep.
Now, when I did my driving test back in 1991, yes, okay, it was in an E-Reg Nissan Micra.
In the first month, you got pulled over.
For speeding, I did. But these driver assist things don't stop you speeding. What they do is stop you having the ability to drive.
Going 70 again.
70, yeah, only ever 70.
Yes.
Never anything else.
No.
But I don't see the point in the driver aid, simply because they don't aid you. All they do, as far as I'm concerned, is take away your ability to concentrate on the road, look what you're doing, make decisions, and consciously drive.
You shouldn't be able to drive.
I think what it does is it makes you lazy, and it makes you rely on all this technology to be able to do these things for you. Stay in the lanes. Again, simple things that you learn day one of your driving lesson. How to stay between that white lane and that white line. White line and white line. If you don't know how to do that, your driving instructor will pull you up on it instantly. You don't need the car to make that decision for you.
I consider if you're in a car that does that, you don't have arms, legs, or eyes.
Exactly that. Let's do a serene acceleration now, shall we? Just nice and
only
gentle.
up to 70.
Nice and gentle. See, I can drive carefully and calmly. The problem is, I'm in a car that likes to be loud, likes to be fun, and likes to enjoy itself.
Does it have feelings?
It does have feelings.
How?
Of course it does. That's the whole point. This engine underneath that bonnet there has feelings.
Turby.
It wants to be quick. It wants to be driven well. It wants to have fun. And you can't do that in an electric SUV that does everything for you. I know we've had ABS for a long time now. And ABS does help because obviously it helps the car not lock up and skid. But that's just an aid to help you braking. Now you could argue we don't need it because all we'll do is adjust our speed ourselves and then brake earlier. But that doesn't always happen in an emergency situation. And I know what you're going to say. All these other ones are for emergency situations. Really? So what emergency situation does it need that you can't stay between the two white lines? What emergency situation does it need that you've got a little light appear on your mirror to tell you that something's coming? What does it need for the speed to adjust itself because it doesn't trust that you can stay the right distance away from the car in front?
If it can't trust you, you shouldn't be driving.
Exactly my point. If you can't do all these things yourself, you shouldn't be driving.
True.
So,
or you're just lazy.
I'd like to know if you can tell me if you think all these driver aids are actually aids or if they are just a nuisance.
A fidget.
Technology for technology's sake.
Like a widget. Something you just use for the fun of it.
Okay, very good, yes. Yes, a widget. Yes, something you just use for the hell of it. You see, I don't want them. I don't think I need them. I'm not saying for a second I'm the best driver in the world because I'm not.
Well,
But I know how to stay between two white lines. I know when to brake. I know when I'm too close to a car in front and when I can speed up or slow down. The ABS is good in an emergency. Every day I don't need ABS. You know, I'm just driving normally, I can brake normally, I don't need ABS. But on the occasion where someone pulls out in front of you, sometimes I'll need it.
would you? You can brake.
Can you think of any technology that we now have in cars that is good, that has improved? Air conditioning, okay. Air conditioning is a good one, but that's an environmental thing. That's not a safety thing. All right, cruise control.
Thing. Cruise control, you could also have airbags.
Cruise control, again, is for convenience because then you don't have to make sure you got your foot in the right place. You'd be surprised how many people I've got in the car with as a passenger and they're...
Or just brake like boom.
I don't know how people do it off and on the accelerator like that. I really don't understand how difficult it is for people to keep their foot in one position. Cruise control on a long journey, if you're doing many, many miles for many hours, is an advantage. And I can see it's an advantage, and that I appreciate. I use cruise control. I don't, however, feel I need adaptive cruise control, because as I'm sitting there, I don't fall asleep. I don't drone out and start thinking about Christmas or biscuits or caravans or pizza. I look where I'm going, and if I realise, oh, I'm getting a bit too close to that car, I'll just tap the cruise control down a couple. Because as a human, I have the ability to think freely. And I think what this has done is it's taken away people's ability to think freely.
Isn't cruise control basically a speed limit, but it makes you have to do it?
Yes, sort of, yes. It's but it's the car limiting the speed.
The airbag is pointless because I've had a story where the driver has the airbag on, he dies, the passenger doesn't have an airbag, loses an leg. Which one's better?
Well, it depends where the impact is, how it was hit.
True. It could be
how
that
fast
side.
it was, what car it is. It depends on the car.
True.
You know, if you're in a really poor car, if your car was hit on the driver's side,
It would.
then it'll have a bigger impact than the passenger side.
Yeah.
Also depends how close you are to the dashboard and how close you are to the steering wheel.
The thing is, if you hit the steering wheel with your head, you get a concussion. If you hit it with an airbag, you can bore him back, and you can hit the metal.
You could, but it softens because it goes bang and I've had an accident with an airbag.
When?
In fact, I kid you not, you'll see on the camera in a minute, it was here. The accident I had was here.
What happened?
I came around this corner and a truck was pulling out of here from the field across the road and going that way. I was talking about it in my last video with the Mondeo. That's where it was, right there. Didn't stop me driving. I drove down here the next day in a car that my boss lent me, and then he took me to Norwich and bought me a brand new car. So that, you know, has never affected my driving. I know accidents do affect people in different ways.
Richard Hammond.
Indeed. But I'm doing 40 in this 60 now, and I am, well, I'm just leaving the gap so I can do this, because what I like to do is this. Let the window down and go. Oh, doesn't that sound good?
And a lot of air. And that. Annoying.
It does sound so good. I love that noise. It's just, and I think electric takes that ability to work away. People that love cars, are passionate about cars, love the sound, love the feel of that engine, the grunt, the fact that you are controlling it. I love that, and people love that. And I think all these driver aids and all this electricity is just making driving boring and dull, and it's taking away the ability to have any fun or decision making behind the wheel.
Well, you could have one of those things you put on the van where, like, you put something under it and then it makes a V8 noise, or plane noise.
You can, yes, like I had on the van, yes.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
jet noise. It's like, pew.
No, I understand what you're saying, but it's not the same. I mean, having that on this car would not be the same. Having it on like a Mach-E,
Or
especially
truck.
considering they don't have gears, do they?
Or truck.
I mean, something like the, Jesus Christ, he needed lane change. Did you see that? I'll show you that on here. Especially considering they don't have gears, do they?
Or truck.
I mean, something like the, Jesus Christ.
Don't see it.
The truck was on my side of the road. He needed it. Not a good argument for my video here. Okay, maybe they should have it on trucks.
Or anybody that's an idiot.
Did you see that? He was coming across my lane. I was like, oh, you better pull over there, mate. He did, a little bit, but he was still encroaching on my side of the road.
Yeah, you'd be more worried about the car than you.
Well, I don't know. If we hit by a truck, I'd be pretty worried about us.
Mostly the car. But
Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you think driver aids have helped driving, if they've hindered driving, if they're making us lazy, if they're making us lose the ability to critically think whilst we're driving and just become more dangerous by proxy because we're not thinking about what we're doing anymore, because you're just relying on the car doing it for you.
you don't need a brain.
See, I know that we're coming up to a 30 whilst I'm talking to you, and I've slowed down to 30. So,
Well, that's because you can talk to nobody, well, technically 40,000 people, or whoever watch it, and me, technically, and drive.
but what's the difference between me looking at a camera and talking to a camera than talking to my wife or you sitting next to me? My wife, your mum, you know what I mean? What's the difference?
One is making money, one isn't.
Good point. I like that. However, what I'm saying is I have to concentrate on having a conversation, looking at the person sitting there or doing that, whilst making sure that I'm still only doing 30 in this 30 limit. I'm staying between these two lanes, and there isn't even a white line on this side, so You know, I'm managing to. No, there isn't. I'm staying away from the verge and the mud whilst not going over that white line. Aware that there's a car coming here that I've got to look behind me, make sure I can pull out okay, nothing coming the other way. You know, it's just logical driving.
You just taught me how to drive now.
And I think that it's taken that away. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Anything else you want to say?
But you could turn it off.
You can turn it off. I mean, it is, but I think it's maybe we're being nannied. We're being forced to drive this way.
Babysitted.
Babysat, yes. Babysitted. Good word. So, there we go. Thanks for watching. As I say, leave any comments in the comment section below, and I will see you very soon for another video. So until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun.
That's my line. We've been down this road for a video.
Yes.
Okay, but have fun. Don't listen to him.